Hey all, now we have our frozen planes and are prepared to start working in 3D. So if we go to the top viewport and zoom out, we can see that our Z, it'll zoom the only thing that's on the screen. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the graph, right, or the grid right now. So what we need to do is go and make a new box in the center of this. It really doesn't matter much more than it just needs to be in this area. If you want to try and make it the thinness you think it needs to be, that's a lot of work that you don't need to do at this point. So I'm just going to click and click. So I did 3 clicks, the click on, the click to position, and the click drag, or I guess that's 2 clicks. So now if I go back to the front viewport and push, what I need to do now is also say Alt X. Alt X will make it transparent. So now when I'm looking at the sword, I can see through it while I'm looking through the box. All right. Last thing we need to do, and this is what I do in this case, is turn it to an editable poly. And we've talked a little bit about editable polys in previous lectures. So let's talk about just collapsing this again, and we right click menu, and then we come down to convert, and we say convert to editable poly. And we click on that, and now it's done. After we do that, we want to go to the front view, look at the front view, and we want to press 2 or more, but let me do something first. I'm going to go ahead and push this vertex button, which is also the shortcut of 1. Okay, and I can grab this, and I'm going to kind of modify this so it matches a little bit. You don't have to do this first. What I was going to do next would have been just fine, but this is just the way I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go to the left. Well, I'm going to pull this up too. I want this just to be about the base of the blade, or just about the blade and nothing else. I'll go to the left and just take care of some business real quick and clean this up. We'll pull this in so it's about the thickness we want it to be. And I may make it a little bit thicker just so we get some more volume from our blade, because this is really thin, this centimeters, this sucker is. Okay, back to the front view. Now, what we need to do is cut this sucker in half, because we're going to want to only work on half at a time. So to do that, we're going to go to the line or the edge mode, which is right here, or we can push 2. Get used to pushing the numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to click on one of these top ones up here, this view, and you'll see the top edge is selected. It doesn't matter if it's the top or the bottom or whatever, but you want something on this line, on this whole set right here, so it's either the top or the bottom selection, not the sides is the point. So I'm going to grab one of those, and I'm going to push Alt-R. Alt-R, what Alt-R does is it does what's called a ring. And what a ring is it goes around, and as long as it's a 4-point polygon, or quad is what we call them, it'll go around until it finds the end of that whole loop. We're going to take that Alt-R, and then we're going to right-click now. Now, the other way to do this is to go into this menu right here and say Connect. It's the same thing right there as the right click, but as you can see, once you get used to working on the right click, it's pretty fast. You can also, when you're in here, make sure it's selecting here, I can go to Connect and just click Connect, or I could go to this one. Don't worry about this one right now. This is a more specific controls over Connect, and we're going to do that in a little bit, but for right now, let's just click on Connect straight up. And as you see, what Connect did is it cut my plane, or my edges in half. So I now have it completely cut in half, and if I look close, it should be really close to the position of the knife. So what I'm going to do is do something that you may find crazy, but I'm going to go to polygon mode, which is 4, select all of that edge on the right hand side. You have to do the right hand side, and I'll go into that in a little bit in the lecture, but just do the right hand side and trust me. And then you're going to delete. All right. Now I'm going to get out of this mode right here. And I want to make sure that this is lined up where I want it to be. You can see that the vertex is perfectly lined up with the front here. Let me go to the front here. You'll see it's perfectly lined up with the center. I just want to have that center lined up with the center of the sword too, just for my own sanity. I don't think I put this on lecture. You can do this after the fact too, or in the notes. But it's something that I'm thinking as I do it. Okay, so now we have it cut in half, and we need to do the next step, which I'll go over in the next video.